Hi, my name is Ken Brenneman. I'm a yoga therapist, and I'm excited to share this short yoga break with you. Typically, I ask you to set aside 15 minutes for a 10-minute practice. This allows you some time before and after to settle in, and our practice will begin very shortly. But I'd like to make sure that you have a foldable blanket and a yoga mat. That's really all you need. There is a yoga block here, but we won't be using that today. So set up your body comfortably, lean into a chair if you need. It's any way that's helpful to have a lengthened spine and space to breathe into the chest and the belly. If it's helpful, just hold your belly and breathe deeply in 3 breaths. Just taking that deep breath in and expand. Let the breath rise up into the lower part of the neck. And exhale, keep the spine tall, but let that breath leave out of the body. Try that 2 more times. Eyes closed can be super helpful. Not looking at a pixelated screen. Breathe in, fill the belly. Let that full breath rise up into the lower throat. And exhale, let it all go. On this next one, as you're breathing in, you might come to name an intention. It can be as open-ended as I feel peace, I am healthy, I am relaxed. However, you might fill the heart with a word of affirmation, letting that exhale go. So you might notice my mat is half in the sun and half in the shade, and that is the yin and yang of our lives these days. I'd like you to find a comfortable spot on your yoga space, your mat, and take your blanket and just open it up so it's in this rectangular shape, about as tall as your torso. You can always use a beach towel if you need. I'm just gonna lie it down behind you, snuggle the spine in. This is gonna be our first 2 minutes of the movement practice. Just gonna lie on back. If your head drapes off the back of that blanket, I'd like to just make sure that even if the chin's higher than the forehead, that the neck feels supported here. It does give us an inverted state, so our eyes can look into the third eye. And then you could set up your legs, just keeping them lengthened, or if the inner thighs are ready for a brief visit, a cobbler pose, we open up the knees, bring the feet together. And then our hands are gonna hover right in front of the heart. Prefer fully restorative, just let the arms rest to the side. We'll do some movement here, pressing energetically palms over the heart center, and then start to lift past the throat, past the chin, mouth, nose, third eye, over the head, until the hands can no longer touch. And then let the hands separate, bringing them out and around, and then circling them down so they can reconnect over top of the heart, maybe the upper belly. And try that 3 times. Lift and lengthen, just rising the arms over the head, open the arms out, and bringing the palms together. Try that 1 more time. And circle and bring it closer to the heart center. You can always repeat your intention another time. What we want to do is find both this yin and yang, this equilibrium, or some might call it equanimity pose. We just want to hold the outer thighs if you are in cobbler or butterfly, and just lightly press with the right hand, levering the right knee up a little higher than the left, and feeling the left knee sink closer to the ground. They don't have to touch the ground. And we're just going to soften back into neutral and then switch sides. What we're doing is we're massaging the lower back, giving the inner thighs a little more space to lengthen. And you might think of the knees as a teeter-totter or seesaw, just a slow, even, kind gesture of stretching out the inner thighs and rocking, using some of the bicep strength to press into the outer thigh and lift and then lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let the knees open for a moment. If you want one more breath of really tending to your inner thighs, you can let the hands slide up to the inner thighs or inner knees and just lightly let them hover there, not pressing past your edge. Always stay on that safe side of your edge. Take a nice deep breath in. We'll give those inner thighs as much support as we can, sliding the hands to the outer thighs, bringing the feet to the ground. Let the knees lean into each other for a moment. And then lean to one side just enough to move, voila, that blanket out of the way. If your neck needs support, you can rest it there. And then hug your knees into your chest. Circle the knees. What I'd like you to do is what yoga practice can bring to the mind, a little brain yoga with our hip opening, is to try and make as many different variations of hip movements as possible, bringing the knees in all different directions. And if you find yourself creating a pattern, just notice that and move it in a different way. There are many different ways we can create patterns in our lives. Some are adaptable for a while, and some cease to be along the way. This healthy pattern of taking a yoga break here or there is something to celebrate. Before you change positions, you might just want to bring those knees in for a gentle, self-compassionate hug, bringing the forehead to the knees. And then if you'd like, you can roll over to one side and come on up to seated. And then lengthen our legs in front of us, cross the arms right over left, and just hug the outer thighs. And just giving ourselves permission to bow into this back heart opening, but also a forward fold. If this is a tight place for your hamstrings and you're only reaching the outer thighs, that's perfect. If you can reach all the way down to the outer edges of your feet, perfect. Doesn't matter. What you're doing is perfect. Take a deep breath in, squeeze the legs wherever you're squeezing them towards that center line, and let's reverse the stacking. Still hugging those opposite legs, bending the elbows out, we bow on forward. We'll just take 3 breaths here. Everything in that breath is here in the now. Try that another time. Deep breath in and exhale. And we'll lift on up. And all these practices today are staying close to the ground. You just want to bring the knees in, stack the body into tabletop. This blanket might come to rest upon, or the knees rest upon them. And all we're going to do here is a gentle upper back stretch, which is a puppy dog, bringing your hands as far forward as you can, lengthening, and then sinking into the yin and yang of an active stretch in the shoulders and a passive stretch in the neck. The forehead doesn't touch the ground, that's fine. You have a little space to move the head side to side. If you feel the lats lengthening, you might even fan out the fingertips some more. So pretty active stretch in the arms, fingertips, and shoulders. Excellent. Sometimes we see our cat friends, dog friends do this stretch after a nap. Take a deep breath in, chest is opening, heart is opening. You might let the out breath be through the mouth, aha. If you're familiar with lion's breath, it can be an in breath through the nose. All you got to do is stick your tongue out and make a little snarly, growly sound. One more breath here, whatever breath sound you want to make, in through the nose and out through. Help those lats come out of this deep stretch. Bring your hands back to that tabletop. And we find ourselves back into seated, because this short 10-minute yoga break allows us to either decide to sit upright for a brief meditation, or if you're in the short yoga practice and you prefer to lie back down or rest into a chair, that's fine too. As you're breathing into this moment, I share with you these words by Mark Nepo, and this is his poem, Accepting This. Yes, it is true, I confess. I have thought great thoughts and sung great songs. All of it rehearsal for the majesty of being held. The dream is awakened when thinking, I love you. And life begins when saying, I love you. And joy moves like blood when embracing others with love. My efforts now turn from trying to outrun suffering to accepting love wherever I can find it. Stripped of causes and plans and things to strive for, I have discovered everything I could need or ask for is right here in flawed abundance. We cannot eliminate hunger, but we can feed each other. We cannot eliminate loneliness, but we can hold each other. We cannot eliminate pain, but we can live a life of compassion. Ultimately, we are small living things awakened in the stream, not gods who carve out rivers. Like human fish, we are asked to experience meaning in the life that moves through the gill of our hearts. There is nothing to do and nowhere to go. Accepting this, we can do everything and go anywhere. Welcome you, whatever position you're resting your body in, upright or reclined, just to let the hands warmly touch in front of the heart center. I invite you to look inwards and call to every cell in your body an intention for preparing to step away from this short yoga break into the rest of your day. It is truly an honor to share this practice with you. I wish you peace. I wish you equanimity. Thank you for sharing, part in the sun, part in the shade. May there find balance in your day as well. Until next time, take care. Namaste.